All right, welcome back, everybody, to a very late at night recording sesh. As of right now that I'm recording, it is 10 o'clock, um, and I'm pretty psyched to be here. I just got done watching Crime 101 tonight. It is late on Saturday the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, so uh, it was a fun movie. I wanted to actually spend time talking about that tonight. Um, Seeing how, you know, it's late at night, might as well talk about some crime. Uh, and so, uh, this movie was really good. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Um, and it was a good one for, you know, being kind of mid February. You don't really expect to see a lot of movies like this, but it was really good, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I wanted to take some time. As of you seeing this, you're eating good this weekend as fans of mine. Posting this on Sunday. You'll have seen my video for Solo Mio posted yesterday on Saturday. So just don't get used to this schedule. This is going to be one of those Super Bowl weekends for this channel where I post like a bunch. Don't get used to that. It will probably normalize after this weekend. But I wanted to take some time and talk about this movie that I saw. It was really good. So I wanted to talk about it. This movie presents us with three kinds of criminals. The three being the thrill seekers, the money moguls, the anarchists, and this movie also introduces us to a fourth kind of criminal in the in for a penny, in for a pound career masterminds. This film um, is really good. It is a homage to a lot of classic thrillers. This film draws from inspiration from crime classics like Heat and Thief, specifically in its focus on the nocturnal Los Angeles landscape and crime. Um, and it's a really good movie that way. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like is very sharp and stylish in this movie that makes it set apart and kind of a classic in its own genre. Um, Whether we're talking about just the setting itself being a very like this one could have been an 80s or 90s like crime thriller from that era in heist movies, or this could be just kind of a modern twist paying homage to those types of movies, along with movies like Ocean's 11 and things like that, with the Rat Pack of starring in this movie, which brings me to the starring with Chris Hemsworth, Barry Keoghan, Halle Berry, and Nick Nolte. This star-studded crime thriller drops us into a crime-ridden Los Angeles. Obviously, like I said, kind of a look into this interesting world that we get uh, with this movie, and I feel like this cast definitely helps us settle into a world where all this is just kind of the norm. But the stories definitely matter. I feel like Mark Ruffalo, as well, in this movie plays a really good titular detective that you end up falling in love with, kind of a cigarette smoking classic, like noir type, out on his luck type character that again is uh, a kind of a reflection on some of the later detective movies where we're talking about like Catch Me If You Can, or movies like that where they kind of reflect on the Columbo type like characters in detective shows that would catch these kinds of criminals, along with a police state that would kind of be almost not wise enough to catch them without his help. So we get an interesting look at the story of these criminals from his perspective, along with Halle Berry being kind of just a innocent bystander that gets sucked into the wrong crowd and isn't appreciated in her career, so she searches for fulfillment inside crime, and obviously that's never the right direction, but it's just interesting because this movie does give us an interesting look at like almost a Robin Hood type character in Chris Hemsworth, where he's just a misunderstood man working for um, an organization that maybe he doesn't agree with, but he has to be a part of because he's been in it for too long. We know very little about this character, so the few things we do know, we have to kind of figure out through his telling of this character's story throughout the film. Where there's just moments like when he tells us very little about his family, or we find out that he has to have companionship every night from um, a lady of the night or a night worker. We just know that he needs that companionship, but only from a distance. And we know very little about him. And he kind of plays that mystery mastermind um, type character very well, along with the fact that he is a convincing criminal mastermind that leaves too little to be caught, but too much to not leave a trail. So there's just a couple of those things that I feel like really make this a great crime film in its own right. Um, but they are a really good cast that drop us into a crime thriller that is set in Los Angeles, where the only way out is in. Um, the interesting stories and intersecting stories that pull us deep into the twisted, well written world of Crime 101. Every character feels purposeful and not like over or underused. Um, they all play an interesting, intentional role in their interesting characters that they give us. There's a lot of pretty cool moments. As far as like story wise, this is a very well done one, and it's very stylish. Like I said, it kind of feels like a moral gray area type crime movie that's almost like plucked out of an era in that type of thriller, which I think makes this movie work. Because if you almost make it too modern, it wouldn't ever be a real thing. But if you almost set it in kind of a world where, um, you know, movies like this and Den of Thieves can coexist along with like Heat and things like that, it works really well. Um, there's a lot of star power in this movie. The cast feature Oscar winner Halle Berry, um, and with five nominees, including Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan. Additionally, the 85-year-old Nick Nolte makes an appearance, um, and he's just a great light in this film. It's it's great to be just set in this world where it's almost you know set in a time where you're like, how can all these people be casted in the same movie? It's amazing. There's a fashionable crime feeling to this movie where Chris Hemsworth plays this character Davis and is noted wearing tailored black suits while committing his meticulously planned crimes, and it's just another twist on the character that this just feels like not just your typical run of the mill heist movie. It feels very elevated, almost like like I said, an Ocean's type film or a Rat Pack movie of a certain era. Um, and each character brings weight to their actor and vice versa, and their roles are all very well done. This isn't just any other one last heist movie. It's tense, character driven, heart pounding, where everyone has something to lose and something to gain. Um, it's a stylish type of movie. I loved the writing and the camera work here, where there's some real life parallels to the plot mirrors the modern day trend of high end, low violence robberies that rely on advanced technology and social media tracking. along twisted in with this idea of like we're set in a certain period in time. I feel like that works extremely well for this movie. Um, and there's never too much that you can say for four different, or I guess you could say technically three different Marvel actors star studying this and not making it too much of a Marvel film, where we have Hemsworth, Ruffalo, even Barry Keoghan and Halle Berry do a very good job of making this not just their usual action types or overplaying their hands. I have to say, shout out to Barry Keoghan. He does a really good job playing a nervous little like tweaker, creep type person. Chris Hemsworth does an amazing job and steals the show a lot of the time. Along with Halle Berry, I think they're really like the big three, along with Mark Ruffalo, that kind of steal the show. And Nick Nolte is a nice character note in this movie, but I feel like he was just there to kind of add even more weight to this movie that already had you know something going for it, which is the idea of it being a really well done movie. So there's not a lot more I have to say about this movie. It's kind of a late night review and kind of a drive down the 101 in LA. I think the setting helps this movie a lot, being at kind of a coast, almost like a Point Break type film. Makes this movie even more endearing to my heart, means that I love heist movies like this. It's definitely top two for me right now in the runnings for my best movies of 2026, and there's not a lot of competition on that list right now, I'll be honest. So that being said, I'm gonna end the review kind of there. This will be a shorter, quick one. I'd encourage you to go out and see this one while it's in theaters. It's a really good one to watch, and it's a fun one. Don't let the R rating scare you off. There's not a lot of violence or language in it, and it's pretty safe. I think it's a really well done movie, and you won't be disappointed that you went saw it. Like I said, it feels set in a certain era in heist movies where it wasn't over the top violent or gory, but just enough, of that stuff to keep you engaged and make you feel like you're really in the moment with the criminals. And there's a lot of good twists in and throughout this film that just keep you with the characters. It's not overwritten to where everybody gets an ending, but it's one of those fade to black movies where you just kind of feel like where everybody ends up at the end of this. So, that being said, I think that will kind of wrap up this shorter review for Crime 101. I think it's well deserved, getting the 80 or 90% that it has on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's getting a lot of good reviews. And it's competing with Wuthering Heights this weekend, which is kind of unfortunate because that one will probably demolish the box office. But this one was definitely my pick for this weekend over Wuthering Heights, just because I'm not a huge Wuthering fan. But it feels like a sharp, stylish film layered with enough moral gray areas that you can kind of just pick a character and ride with them the whole time through traffic. This crime film that knows exactly what game it's playing is definitely not a missed shot from Amazon and the directors and the team here, but a well done Rat Pack new age type movie that definitely hits in its own heist genre type, and it definitely doesn't hurt that it's really well done and released at a time where it doesn't have a lot of competition in the box office. So I would encourage you, as always, to go out and support your local theaters. If you guys have seen this movie, if you're hoping to see this movie, let me know in the comments below. I'm hoping to post again over the weekend. You guys will probably get some more videos here soon. I'm having kind of a crazy weekend where I just have some time to go see some movies, and so I'm hoping to post some more. But even if I don't, make sure you guys watch my videos. It really does help if you leave comments and subscribe, like, all that good stuff. All these reviews, of course, will be up on Letterboxd, but just let me know if you like it, if you love it. Hey, at least you watched it, right? Like it, love it, watch it. But anyway, go out and support your local theaters, as I always say. And until next time, peace out, gangsters.